Today we are going to show you a very interesting recipe. It's been requested by many of our friends and they have asked me to show a macaroon recipe. So today I'm going to show you a plain flavor of macaroon which we will fill with chocolate ganache, and few of them we will fill with some dulce de leche. So let's get started. Okay, now for ingredients we will be needing 180 grams of icing sugar, about 135 grams of ground almonds. So I've just used normal almonds, but if you can find blanched almonds, you can just make a powder, or if you can buy the ground meal of almonds, you can do so. But I have used plain almonds, about 135 grams, and pound them into powder. Then we need some pinch of salt, 3 tablespoons of caster sugar, and 3 egg whites. So I've taken 3 eggs and taken the egg whites of them, and we would be coloring them peach in color. So I have taken some gel color which is peach. Okay, now guys, starting for step 1, I have taken the ground almonds and the icing sugar in the food processor. And then I will be adding a pinch of salt, and we'll just pound it until they both get mixed up nicely. Now I have checked the mix of icing sugar and ground almonds, and it looks perfectly mixed together. Now I will take this out into a bowl. Step 2, we will be making the meringue. So for that we will need the egg whites. So I've taken here 3 egg whites, and I will put a pinch of the gel food color. Start on level 1 and then take the speed up until it forms nice soft peaks. Once you see your eggs have started to form soft peaks, at this stage we will slowly start incorporating the sugar. Now we won't add the whole sugar at once because that will deflate our eggs. We will just keep doing it little at a time. Stopping the machine, looks like we have achieved the stiff peak. Guys, you can see we have formed nice stiff peak of our meringues. So we have to use about 1/3 of this mix to get started incorporating into the ground almond and icing sugar mix. This process of mixing the ground almond, icing sugar and the meringue is known as macaronage. The initial mixing part will be a little difficult. This is the most tricky part of making the meringues, and that's why most people fail while making them. So remember, the first time when you add your meringue, the main purpose is to get it mixed thoroughly with your ground almonds first, and then the remaining ones will help you in giving the aeration. Now slowly I will start adding little at a time and keep mixing them. I have added the last batch of meringue and I'm just giving a final mix through. Now you need to keep mixing this until you get a figure 8. When you just take here, see it's not there yet, so we need to keep mixing until you get that nice stringy number 8 design. Okay guys, I think we are on the track, and when I see I can get the number 8 easily in one string. So now I will just transfer this mix into a piping bag and we'll get ready for piping. Ready to pipe? Okay, now we need to line our baking sheet with some baking paper, and to prevent it from moving, I'm just gonna put 4 dots on each side, just so that the paper stays in place while we are piping the mix. Okay, now we will start piping the mix. Try to space them out evenly because they will puff up. Okay, now guys, after the macaroons have been piped, one very important step that we cannot miss is tapping your tray. You have to tap it really nice and hard, at least 3 to 4 times. This process will help you in eliminating the air pockets which may have formed inside. Like I could see 3-4 of my macaroons did have some air pockets, and the tapping helped in taking them out. Okay guys, once your macaroons have been piped and tapped, leave them untouched at room temperature for at least half an hour to 1 hour. What that will help in forming a skin on top of your macaroons, and when you put them in the oven after that, that will help them not to have those crack marks. Like sometimes you can see you might have some crack marks, and that's one of the reasons. Now when you leave them at room temperature, that forms that skin and helps in getting that perfect glossy macaroon each time. We will be baking the macaroons at 150 degrees for at least 15 minutes. One good principle that you need to follow while baking is not to be tempted to open the door of your oven just to peek how it's cooking. So just be patient for 15 minutes, 15 to 20 depending on what sort of oven you have at home. Now our macaroons have dried out nicely. It's been 45 minutes sitting at room temperature. Now I will be putting them in the oven at 150 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. In goes the macaroon. Now we shouldn't open the door at all, 15 to 20 minutes. Guys, our macaroons are out of the oven and I transferred them onto a cooling rack to cool down. Now I just want to show you by breaking one how the texture is like. So it's nice and crunchy on the outside and soft and chewy on the inside. That's how a good macaroon is. You can see. Okay guys, now the fun part. I have got some chocolate ganache into a piping bag that I would be filling into my macaroons. And then we'll gently push the second one on top and make it look like a sandwich. So there you go. Your first macaroon is ready. Next, I'm making another piping bag with a dulce de leche. I've shown this recipe in previous video of churros, so you can go and refer to that. And then we place the top section on it. There you are. Okay guys, so there you have it, your homemade macaroon. This one I'm gonna try just to see how it all came. Normally it tastes the best when it's 1 day old, but can you see? It's nice and crunchy on the outside. It's really good.